Have you ever wondered who the Antichrist really is and how his arrival could impact the world? Today, we're diving deeply into prophetic signs and events preceding the coming of this enigmatic figure. If you've ever felt that the world is becoming increasingly chaotic and wondered if we're nearing a major apocalyptic event, this video is for you. You'll discover ancient prophecies about the Antichrist, understand how these predictions align with current events, and learn to recognize the signs of his imminent arrival. We'll explore sacred texts, theological interpretations, and practical implications for our daily lives. With this knowledge, you'll be better prepared to face future challenges with discernment and wisdom. And if you enjoy topics like this, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything we publish here. Throughout history, the Antichrist has been interpreted in various ways. In the early church and the Middle Ages, he was often identified with persecutors of Christians or future figures bringing apostasy. During the Protestant Reformation, reformers like Martin Luther identified the Antichrist with the papacy, accusing it of corrupting true Christian faith. In modern times, interpretations range from the idea of a future political or religious leader to symbolic views seeing the Antichrist as systems or ideologies opposed to Christ. Contemporary apocalyptic movements often attempt to correlate global events with biblical prophecies, speculating about the identity of the Antichrist in political leaders or international organizations. The prophesied signs in the Bible regarding the arrival of the Antichrist include a series of events and behaviors indicating his presence. In 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 3-4, the Antichrist is described as the man of lawlessness, who exalts himself above all that is called God, sitting in the temple of God. Revelation 13 verses 1-8 speaks of a beast blaspheming against God and having authority over all the earth, while Daniel 7 verse 25 mentions a leader who will change times and laws, oppressing the saints. Other religious sources, such as Islam, also mention a figure similar to the Antichrist, known as the Dajjal, who deceives people and claims divinity. Many scholars and believers view contemporary events as possible signs of the Antichrist's arrival. These signs include increased violence and injustice, the proliferation of corrupt political and religious leaders, and economic and environmental crises. Some point to the growing acceptance of ideologies opposing traditional Christian values as evidence of apostasy. Globalization and the establishment of powerful international institutions are also seen by some as preparations for the global dominion of the Antichrist. Throughout history, several figures have been identified as possible antichrists. Roman emperors like Nero and Domitian were seen as antichrists due to their persecution of Christians. During the Protestant Reformation, reformers like Martin Luther identified the papacy as the institution of the Antichrist. In modern times, leaders such as Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin have been pointed to as antichrists for their atrocities and opposition to Christian values. The lessons learned from these historical examples highlight humanity's tendency to seek oppositional figures in times of crisis and the importance of spiritual discernment to avoid false alarms. According to the Bible, the Antichrist plays a central role in the end times as a deceiving leader who opposes Christ and his followers. In 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 3-4, the Antichrist is described as the man of lawlessness, who exalts himself above all that is called God, proclaiming himself divine and establishing himself in the temple of God. Revelation 13 verses 5-8 describes the Antichrist as the beast who receives power for a limited time to blaspheme against God and persecute the saints. His role is to deceive and lead humanity in rebellion against God, setting the stage for the final battle. The final battle between good and evil, known as Armageddon, is a central theme in Revelation. In Revelation 16 verse 16, it is mentioned that the kings of the earth gather at a place called Armageddon for the final battle. Revelation 19 verses 19-21 describes the battle where the beast, Antichrist, the false prophet, and their armies face Jesus Christ and the heavenly armies. In this battle, the Antichrist and the false prophet are defeated and cast into the lake of fire, symbolizing God's final victory over the forces of evil. This confrontation culminates in the destruction of evil and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. In the book of Revelation, the Antichrist is often associated with other apocalyptic figures such as the false prophet and the beast. The sea beast, Revelation 13 verses 1-8, typically identified as the Antichrist, is a global ruler who exercises evil power and authority. The false prophet, Revelation 13 verses 11-18, is a second beast who performs great signs and miracles to deceive humanity, promoting worship of the first beast and imposing the mark of the beast. These figures work together to deceive and subjugate humanity to the power of the Antichrist, forming an impure trinity opposed to the Holy Trinity. The interaction of these figures highlights the organized and perverse nature of opposition to the divine plan, preparing the ground for the final battle between good and evil. If you want to delve deeper into the fascinating facts discussed in this video, in the comments, we've provided a valuable resource that complements the content covered here. The perspective of the Antichrist's arrival raises profound questions about how our current society could be affected. Belief in the manifestation of such a malignant figure can intensify feelings of uncertainty and turmoil already present. The emergence of a charismatic and deceiving leader, as described in prophecies, could further polarize opinions and divide communities around the world. The discussion about the Antichrist brings to light fundamental moral and ethical questions. As a figure opposing Christ's teachings, the Antichrist challenges traditional values of justice, love for others, and morality. His influence could promote totalitarian forms of government or ideologies that legitimize oppression and intolerance, challenging fundamental ethical principles and religious freedom. Belief in the arrival of the Antichrist can have a significant impact on human behavior, influenced both by fear and hope. Fear of a future dominated by evil forces can lead to precautionary actions, such as strengthening faith and community solidarity. At the same time, hope in God's final victory over evil can strengthen resolve to resist injustice and promote values of peace and compassion. These reflections highlight not only the potential challenges that the Antichrist's coming could pose, but also the importance of spiritual and moral preparation to face adversities and preserve fundamental principles of human dignity and justice. To prepare spiritually and mentally for the arrival of the Antichrist, it is crucial to strengthen faith and develop resilience in the face of spiritual and moral challenges that may arise. Here are some practical tips. Faith strengthening. Delve into sacred scriptures and Christian theology to better understand signs and teachings related to the Antichrist. Cultivate a life of regular prayer and spiritual reflection to strengthen your relationship with God and discern truth amid uncertainties. Spiritual resilience. Prepare to resist the temptation and pressure to conform to systems or ideologies that contradict Christian principles. Develop a solid moral conscience based on values such as justice, love for others, and respect for human dignity. Importance of community and solidarity. Stay connected with a strong and supportive faith community that can offer spiritual, moral, and practical support in times of crisis. Actively participate in Bible study groups, prayer groups, and community activities that strengthen fraternal bonds and promote solidarity in times of adversity. Spiritual and mental preparation for the arrival of the Antichrist extends beyond theological knowledge to the practice of authentic faith and the cultivation of communal relationships that offer mutual support and encouragement. Being spiritually prepared means being rooted in divine truth and committed to a path of life that honors God and promotes the common good. It is crucial to be attentive to signs pointing to the possible arrival of the Antichrist, as described in sacred scriptures, to prepare spiritually and strengthen faith. Maintaining a solid spiritual and moral vigilance helps discern truth and resist influences that contradict Christian teachings. In times of uncertainty, it is essential to remain anchored in faith and values that sustain spiritual life. I invite you, viewers, to share your opinions, reflections, and experiences in the comments below. How do you interpret prophetic signs, and how are you preparing spiritually? Let's learn and grow together in this journey of understanding and spiritual preparation. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content related to spiritual and prophetic themes. Watch other videos that offer additional insights into faith, prophecies, and contemporary spiritual challenges. Let's explore together how we can strengthen ourselves spiritually in the face of adversities that may arise.